Hey there, welcome back to Tennille Talks, y'all. This reading describes you as being the Ten of Pentacles. When we think about the Ten of Pentacles, we are thinking about materials, assets, wealth, abundance, prosperity, and yes, fiat currency and money is absolutely 10 Pentacles. It's the bag. But before you can physically have 10 coins, you have to vibrationally be 10 coins. When I'm describing you as the 10 of Pentacles, I'm saying that in your spirit, you are 10 coins. In your mind, you are 10 coins. And in your emotion, you are 10 coins. And because in those three realms, you have mastered and maintained your frequency, the wealth of your frequency, you can manifest it in the physical world. That is the truth about who you are. Someone in this reading has been fighting that truth, meaning there have been a lot of unnecessary wars surrounding your energy, surrounding your vibration. The goal of your existence is to teach people how to eat forever. Some people just want to know, am I going to eat for the next 24 to 48 hours? You know, some people only plan their meals 1 or 2 days. I'm talking about the shit that you carry inside of you. You're concerned about the next 24 to 48 to 72 generations. You're talking legacy. The wars that have surrounded the purity and the wealth of your energy is all due to stubbornness. Now, a lot of the challenges that you may have gone through, it could have played out in many different scenarios, many environments with a lot of people. But there is one person that is highlighted in this reading. Okay? And so I'm talking about the stubbornness specifically of one person. If you had to think of who in my life has the biggest problem with me being walking wealth energetically and vibrationally, who would be most offended by the purity and the rarity of what I am? That's the person that's highlighted. Now, this reading is calling them a king of coins. They don't have to be a masculine, okay? And they don't have to have money. When we're talking about a king of coins, typically, this is somebody who has financial means. They have connections and status. They've acquired wealth. This is also somebody who doesn't mind the fact that they are a prisoner to material things. That person. Now, some people love money and still don't have it. So although they're coming out as a king of coins, this doesn't mean that they are wealthy. It doesn't mean that they have achieved their mindset. But the fact that you are walking wealth, this is a tower moment. I'm going to talk about this king of coins a little more. This reading is also saying that they are a spiritual narcissist. So one of the ways that this person acquires their wealth and their status, it could be by way of a spiritual route. But it's narcissism in spiritual form, which means I am going to misuse spiritual beliefs. I'm going to misuse spiritual practices for self-serving purposes. I'm not picking up spirituality and rituals in order to teach you how to be spiritually whole. No, I am picking up all of this spiritual shit because it will draw you to me. I'm carrying enlightenment and I just want to keep holding it because I want you to come to me to feed, right? Nothing I give you is going to teach you how to eat forever. The goal of a spiritual narcissist is to use spirituality in order to be fed forever. Truth. But you're the 10 of Pentacles. You're walking wealth. Your identity, this revelation about you is a tower moment, meaning this king of coins, the spiritual narcissist, is going through conflicts, devastation. Whatever they built on spiritual narcissism is falling the fuck down because you are who you are. But listen, the wars that have surrounded your energy is because there's one specific person who did not want to change their mind about you, right? And so stubbornness is the precursor to regret. When this tower comes after this devastation, after this shit is done falling, the regret that this king of coins is going to feel about resisting the truth of you, like That's not coming up in the reading, but that's what follows. So somebody refusing to change their mind, unfortunately, did not change your identity. My handmade card says some people want it to happen. Some people wish it would happen. Others make it happen. Quote by Michael Jordan. Why is this tower moment falling now on spiritual narcissists? Because those that truly carry the energy of the 10 of coins are making it fucking happen. And so the real from the fake is revealing itself in this reading. Now, on top of this King of Coins, once you understand who this person is in your life, my handmade card says she was an open book. He was illiterate. Now, you being the 10 of coins is telling me that this person who resisted you, who was stubborn, who caused a lot of wars about who and what you truly were, it's almost like they wanted to keep it hidden. They didn't want it to be seen. Why? Because I'm the king of wealth. I'm the king of materials. So who are you to walk around with this type of energy, right? And so let me go ahead and gatekeep you. Let me trap you. And I'm going to describe the ways in which this person attempted to keep you hidden, right? And these are the wars. The wars as a result of you not being revealed for who you really were, like other people had to suffer. Other people had to fall. All right. So you were an open book and they were illiterate. In order to read a book, you got to sit down. You got to take time. You got to turn the pages. You got to process the words. You got to comprehend. You got to go back and reflect. You got to dissect. And so this King of Coins had time to sit down and read you. This is somebody that spent time with you, spent seasons, spent years. This could be a relative. It could be a work relationship. But what I'm saying is like y'all had years. You had seasons. Somebody could watch you in different time periods. But unfortunately, when they were looking at you, when they were reading you, because you didn't gatekeep, you were truthful. Listen, if somebody says you're an open book, that means I bear it all. I'm telling the truth. I'm authentic. Everything I say might not necessarily put me in a good light, but if it's true, I got to, you know what I mean? So you showed up authentically, truly, and purely, and somebody was still illiterate. They still couldn't fucking read and write what you were putting down. Now, in order to describe you, you are being called a Knight of Cups. And so a King of Coins is going to be a king of the physical world. A Knight of Cups is somebody who is in pursuit of a cup. Our cups talk about our emotional energy. This is our waters, our intuition. The Knight of Cups is literally like Romeo. It's Prince Charming, Knight of Shining Armor. Now, I'm not saying that you are a knight in shining armor. I'm saying the energy that you live in looks like that. It looks like you're always in the pursuit of love and happiness and peace and joy and pleasure. Like you chase that shit. You know it's there. You love it. You can't, and to be a knight, it means that you haven't yet become the king or the queen, but you can literally be 89 years old and carry the energy of a Knight of Cups. Like you still live like tomorrow is going to bring the most magical moment you've ever desired or imagined. Like that's just right? That is a part of you being an open book. And so somebody got to watch you live. Now, a lot of people's going to think, now, why the hell are you living that way? Pain is real, right? Some people think that it's more logical to just really hang on to the physical world because you can perceive it in all of your five senses. The physical world is just easier because you can make sense of it logically. But when we're talking about emotion, when we're talking about cups, there's a lot of risk. You don't know how them waters are going to move. You don't know if the waters will be clear. Will they be murky? Right? And so not everybody is comfortable moving in the pursuit of love and joy and pleasure. There's too much risk involved. In order to describe you, it says, you must let the pain visit. You must allow it to teach you. You must not allow it to overstay. However old you are, the reason why you exist in this energy, similar to a Knight of Cups, is because of your relationship with pain. You have dated pain, but you never married pain. You understand? You may have laid down with pain, but you didn't birth a child with pain. You allowed it to visit, to make itself known. You learned, it taught you, and then you were like, okay, we're done here. Pain, you must go. I gotta pick up my cup again. I gotta pursue love. I gotta be happy and peaceful and joyous. You know what I'm saying? And so pain has never been able to corrupt you enough for you to put down your own cup. Love is real to you. You carry it, you feel it, and if you have it, you know it's out there. And that's how you live. That is the thing about you that was the open book. And so you may have spent time with somebody who had moments to read you. You could have shared your life. You could have shared your story. You could have shared your pain. This motherfucker could have caused you pain and watched you put the pain down just to go pick up a cup again. One of the things that this King of Coins, now I don't know if this is a part of the spiritual narcissism, because remember, I'm only going to spiritually guide you because I want you to continuously come back to me to eat. And so with the King of Coins, I have a card that says spiritual attachments. One of the ways that those that misuse spiritual practices or beliefs, one of the ways that they do this is they get you to open up. And then once you are open, then they attach. They attach something to you that is going to be dark, but it is really going to drain your energy. When it begins to drain your energy, it'll cause you fear, anxiety, or oppression. And guess what? You got to keep going back to that pastor. You got to keep going back to that priest. You got to keep going back you got to keep going back. And you don't even recognize that I'm going back because something has been attached to me. It has been attached to you because every time you go back, you pay. Well, now somebody has become a King of Pentacles because they keep attaching things to people, causing people to be energetically drained. When you're energetically drained, you sink down into a dark space, and then you got to keep going back. You got to feed, you got to tie, you got to do all of the things in order to feel like you are going to be able to bring your state back to wholeness. Okay? This could be a whole hustle. But you're the real thing. You have made something happen in your life, and you didn't attach a demon to anybody. Now, you were an open book and they were illiterate. What I'm understanding is I have a card describing the Knight of Cups as demonic influence. This talks about subtle manipulation from dark forces. And the reason why you're being manipulated is because you are being prepared. A demonic influence is going to first manipulate you in a very subtle way because that's the appetizer. It manipulates you because it wants to tempt you. I will first manipulate you because I then can distract you, okay? And this is about manipulating somebody in a way that can almost go unseen. And the goal is to put them in the path of destruction without them even knowing that I was here to do it, okay? And so this King of Coins got to experience your energy. They read the pages to your book. They understood what you were writing, and they still made an attempt to do something to you. Had no idea what they were looking at, right? And it was really about your relationship with pain. When somebody subtly fucks with your energy, demonic influence, you being this Knight of Cups, this is saying that you immediately go into a state of rest, meaning like your body already has its own function. It already has its own mechanism for how it handles manipulation. How are you going to care? Listen, in order to deposit the codes of 10 of Pentacles in other people, 10 of Pentacles is physical energy. In order for you to be able to hold on to your energy, you also have a way of protecting yourself when you feel subtle manipulation. There's no way that you can deposit wealth in others. There's no way that you can materialize wealth mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually if you don't know how to hold on to your coins. And so somebody tried to do something that would essentially snatch your coins for you because they wanted your coins for them, right? If I open you up energetically, if I attach something to you, I'm essentially stealing energy for you because I'm going to use this as a physical manifestation for me. But somebody read you and they couldn't read. And when I'm saying they read you, they should have known that you were not a person that was going to fall prey. When they send a demonic influence, the next step is to attach a spirit. I can only get paid again and again and again by your energy if I successfully bind a spirit to you. Meaning that spirit has to drain you. When that spirit is draining you, I am getting the 10 pentacles. Your energy is being released to me mentally, emotionally, right? Spiritually. And then finally, I will use it materially for wealth. And so somebody is having difficulty with you, meaning you are impossible to attach a spirit to. You are impossible. Maybe you do dance with a couple demons, right? Because we all got pain. And so a demon doesn't know pain is called pain. Demons just look for darkness. And so spiritual narcissists need people who are carrying a lot of darkness, meaning you're unhealed. The less likely you are to heal, the more likely you are to be demonically influenced for a spiritual attachment to make its way to you and bind and eat, right? Now, the person I'm speaking to, that is an impossible task. This King of Coins is having difficulty. To be on a platform, to be a King of Coins with wealth, listen, they got to be good at this, right? Because they have money. They have something to show for it. This can be a queen. This can be a female. I'm just saying. It can be anybody just because it's a King of Coins. It doesn't have to be. But something about you is impossible. But they were already reading it, but they were illiterate, y'all. Meaning everything you showed them said, I'm not the one. I'm not the two. Like, don't try it. Like, everything said that. And so you got a spiritual narcissist who is sitting in a tower moment because you know how to eat forever. The only reason why you can physically manifest 10 pentacles is because you cannot be stolen from mentally. You cannot be stolen from energetically. Do you understand? Somebody tried to steal from the entire bank. You are a vibrational bank of wealth. And somebody knew that, but they couldn't read anything else. They could not read anything else, even if you told them, even if you showed them. They were illiterate. They were always going to try. And so this says that demonic influence may have been sent to you, but because you are comfortable with allowing pain to teach you, because you don't mind pain being a guest, you also don't mind excusing pain when it is time for it to go. You will never allow it to overstay its welcome. When you allow pain to overstay its welcome, you become a beautiful vessel for a spirit to attach to, because you don't know when to let shit go. You don't know when to clean your own darkness. You don't know when to integrate your shadow. And your ignorance is what allows spiritual narcissists to feed on you again and again and again, because you won't do your own fucking work. And you're paying somebody else to do your work for you. And somebody's having difficulty because you are not one of them. Okay? And so this is saying that when your body is subtle, and listen, demonic influence is subtle. It is, there's a fine line between reality and illusion. And so that is where the influence happens. You are not supposed to differentiate between the illusion and what is real. That is where the influence takes place. That is what gets you to be tempted, to be distracted, or to be stepped or pushed onto a path of destruction. Your body goes into a state of rest, meaning you're like, is somebody trying to snatch my pentacle? Like, you can feel something in your mind, in your emotion. You can feel it in your spirit. You go into a state of rest, which means I'm about to connect these dots. I'm about to gain insight. I'm going to silence my mind. I will silence my body. If there is a pain that is speaking to me, I will heal it and I will process it. Maybe I'll have to just sit back and observe, right? Whatever it is, I will accept what this pain is because I cannot expand beyond the pain unless I accept it as it is. All of that happens when you are in rest. And so, yes, you can dance with manipulation. You can dance with demons all day, but a demon will never be able to bring his spirit friend over and attach to your vessel. One of my handmade cards says, no, it's not handmade, but it's a quote. It says, the joy of life is seen through the eyes of innocence. And so when you have moments with pain and with demons, like this is about you being able to be in corrupt energy without allowing yourself to be corrupted. You always go into a state of rest, which means the corruption never makes its way into you. It can never steal your vibration. The 10 pentacles that exist in your mind, your spirit, your body, and emotions, it never gets to take it. You carry the codes that allow you to eat forever, which means the spirit ain't gonna be able to eat off of you for long. You'll figure it out, you'll find it, and you will make peace with the pain and then kick it the fuck out. And somebody knew this or watched this and had no idea what they were watching about you, and they still fucking tried it. And so this is about them finding difficulty. Why is it so difficult to attach a spirit to you? So this King of Pentacles wanted to drain your energy. As long as your energy is being depleted, you are more likely to feel fear, anxiety, and oppression. When you are sitting in those types of emotional states, it makes you feel vulnerable. When you are feeling vulnerable, you are more likely to fall prey to a negative spiritual practice, which means you have to be groomed into believing and trusting that a spiritual narcissist is a pure leader. They got to groom you. And they need demonic influence. They need spiritual attachments in order to do so. This is a self-serving business. Now, this person was not able to do to your mind what they were able to do to others, which is mental imprisonment. Y'all, if the universe is mental, if all is mind, everything that this person is trying to do, it's really about capturing your mind. If I can capture your mind, then you will be coming to me again and again and again and again, thinking that I am feeding you enlightenment. And in reality, you are just feeding me your energy, right? Because you're not healing. You're not doing your work, because you've opened up. And so mental imprisonment means self-limiting beliefs or self-limiting thought patterns that trap someone in a cycle of negativity or defeat. When you are trapped in a prison because a spiritual attachment is on you, because you were successfully influenced by a demon, when that happens, somebody else has access to your wealth. This was the method. This is what somebody attempted to do to you. And they shouldn't have. They're sitting in a tower. A spiritual narcissist is falling. And they're falling because their intuition. They had no intuition. They just had greed. When I'm talking about intuition, I'm talking about an inner voice, meaning something inside of them attempted to whisper, you don't want to try this. They're an open book. You're not reading right now. Right? You're not understanding the energy that y'all, anyway, somebody did it and they ignored the whisper. And it was really about getting your mind to whisper a reality to you other than the reality of you being a 10 of Pentacles. Somebody wanted you to be in a mental imprisonment. And so they attempted to attach a spirit to you, but they had great difficulty. They considered you to be impossible. And all of the difficulty and everything that made it impossible to attach a spirit to you still was not able to purge this person of their stubbornness, meaning they caused another war. I can't do it. I'm going to try another way. Another war is caused. Instead of changing their own mind, right? Instead of changing their own mind about who you were, it was like, I just got to find another demon to change this person's mind about who they really are. This is almost like somebody being offended by the fact that you thought you were something. Like, how dare you think you're something, right? And you're not corrupt, and you're not dabbling in all the shit I'm dabbling, and you may not even have wealth. You just walking around with a cup of love, excited about tomorrow. And let me explain to this. Any spiritual narcissists are really trying to trap you in the same prison that they're trapped in. These people don't even understand that they themselves are in a mental imprisonment. And when they attempt to trap you in something that is other than what you truly are, they have just booked a free session because you are going to break that imprisonment off of their own mind. That is the tower. And so this is literally somebody bringing down a spiritual giant, but they were only giant because of the energy that they had eaten from others. And when they tried to eat yours, they didn't recognize that you were just set apart. Even if you told them, even if you showed them, some people are illiterate and they must experience the knowledge first. You can tell people all day, everybody can't read. Some people will have to eat it. They will have to live it. They will have to walk through it. And it says that this person may have walked through a war with you again and again and again because they couldn't hear the whispers of their own intuition, because the mental imprisonment that they were in was too strong. It was too heavy. Anybody that can put a spirit on you also has a spirit on them. Anybody that is attempting to influence you with some type of demonic presence is already influenced by something demonic. Whatever you made happen, whatever you just brought down, it was a tower. Somebody has brought down a tower. And however spiritual narcissism has showed up in your life, in the center of this reading, somebody is recognizing that they just couldn't read, but you were open. You were truly, purely, and authentically you. And I really feel like, literally this is like somebody trying to get something to stick to you again and again and again and again and again. But literally being trapped in their own mental prison, they couldn't even recognize that it will never work. When I'm talking about unnecessary wars were caused again and again and again because somebody could not hear the whisper of you, the whisper of your truth, the whisper of your frequency, your vibration, you cannot take a 10 of Pentacles that exist in the spirit in this way down. You cannot misuse them. Yes, they can dance a little with darkness, but the darkness doesn't stay. The pain caused by the darkness will be purified. Y'all, so you have just broken a spiritual giant, a spiritual narcissist out of their own mental imprisonment, because they really get to see what it looks like when 10 of Pentacles exist in a vibration, in a frequency. Some people can be energetically wealthy and never need a demon to give them that wealth. Some people can be rich vibrationally and they never needed a spiritual attachment to be bound to somebody else or to themselves in order to be promised wealth. So this is the tower that somebody is facing. I love y'all. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.